Test 1, 2. Hey guys, it's Brent again, ready to go over the lighting at this point. Just looking over some notes here. Okay, so essentially, we went over the media distribution and the whole, the modularized design, the ability to jump into a matrix type platform and jump to each room and control each room with really quick commands and get really quick status feedback. I kind of applied the same thing over to my lighting system. So, when you first take a look at the lighting, what you'll notice is it's load control. So up top you'll see lighting, you'll see living room. You'll see on the right hand side I still have the volume and all that, right? So I keep that up and I keep the status of your AV control right at your fingertips. This way if it's an iPad you don't have those hard buttons. It kind of allows me to cross platforms and keep that quick control in the client's hands. One thing worthy to note here, you'll see the icon changes up top above the left nav bar, giving again quick status feedback as to what you're controlling. So let's jump into lighting here. What you'll notice is very general. You know what I mean? You've got your dimming up and down. You've got status feedback on an on-off style switch. You've got your presets over here. So I'll show you kind of the idea here. So if I grab a preset. Man, it was a nightmare to get these graphics to work, but you can see I've got presets that are specific to this room, right? So I give the client 6 presets kind of out of the box. I can go up to 20 presets per room, so I can keep it real flexible. But what I did here to try and keep it, to try and keep the maintenance off of me, the programmer, is basically make sure the client has the ability to set their own levels. So you can see here I've got relaxed and casual at the same setting. So I want to adjust let's say casual down to a different setup here. So if I set my levels, okay, and then I jump back on the casual switch here and I press and hold, you will see a 5-second press and hold with so it'll give me some quick feedback there. So now if I jump to relax, you'll see I'll go back up to that preset level, and then if I go to casual, you'll see it'll drop back down to where they set casual, giving the homeowner the ability to do it from the touch panel, from keypads, all within my same Cooper lighting module. What else I want to go into here is, this is a simple layout, not much to talk about, but what is worthy talking about here would be the fact that on the back end, the programming, what's so special about this is that literally to put a load into a zone, so let's say if I wanted to add the desk lamp into this zone, it's a simple matter of going into my simple Windows program and typing the name of the load in and the type of load. And that is actually it. And then you upload the program, compile and upload. All these graphics right here are done via offsets, so it's very dynamic. So I literally put the name in, the load type in, and then it automatically knows, do I put the dimmers on it? Am I adding special features? Is it fluorescent? Whatever the case is, it's dynamic. All right. So one of the problems I had is I wanted to give a large kind of, a lot of real estate here for load control for instances like if it's on a smaller 5-inch panel, things like that. But I also had have the ability to, go obviously above 3 loads, right? So what I did here is, I'm just going to jump in, ignore this right now, but if you see here under home, I have, for instance, all my test loads in my house right now hooked up, okay? And what you'll see that's special here is, dynamically the next and previous buttons kind of just came up. Now, the beauty of this is essentially, if I were to, let's say, set a category of lights, first floor, for instance, and then I had a second floor and I had a basement and then maybe exterior lighting. The beauty is if I go into my module and I name more than 3 loads, it knows to put in these buttons dynamically. It knows to add that additional logic in to give you the quickest way of implementing a zone structure with a load layout by literally throwing names in and load types. So everything's dynamic. Everything's done on the back end where it's as simple as it gets when it comes to programming, cutting time down to a tremendous degree. Now, that's my load control, that's my zone control. It's very straightforward, nothing special there really, except for the back-end programming. But what I did find that I really enjoyed about this portion of my program was if I go to the room selection here, kind of like the AV matrixing, I gave the client the ability on the right-hand side to be able to fly through all their zones and get status. So you can see the light bulb's off in the kitchen because none of the lights in the kitchen are on. If I were to throw one of the lights on in the kitchen, you can see the light bulb on, right? Now, the beauty of this to me is if I want to go, I mean, obviously people aren't trying to dim every single light in the house. They want to fly through it and make really quick assessments and commands. And to me, this is the best way of doing it. For instance, if this was first floor, you would get a really quick glimpse, and you would be able to just turn all the lights off just like that. And I find this to be honestly the most common utility I use when it comes to the lighting control, because it's a simple matter of if I want to control my lighting, I literally hit my lighting button, select rooms, and if I go here, then I can get really quick established control, and to me that was huge. So that's pretty much the lighting program, straightforward. Really nothing too crazy there. Let's jump into the climate control now. So if I were to jump over to my climate control, you can see here, this is my thermostat, my first floor thermostat. And what we have here is just basic control. So this would be your thermostat on the wall. If I want to set it in heat mode, cool mode, off, my set point adjustment. Do I want to set it on hold, away, run, fan auto, fan on, right? And then I added something in here that I haven't seen anybody else do, but it's called, I put it like basically a set all in, where you can essentially set all the thermostats. If I have everything set to 80, this thermostat set to 81, I can press set all, and that will push those settings across the board temporarily, just to basically, hey, I want to set it to a certain degree, but I don't want to go into each thermostat and do it. Now the other option I have here is the edit schedule. Straightforward, nothing crazy here. You just jump through your different schedules. So for instance, weekday wake, what time am I waking up? If it's hot outside, what do I want to cool it to? Vice versa. If it's cold, what do I want to heat it to? That's pretty much that. I mean, it's a 5x2 schedule, and straightforward. Haven't had any complaints with it. It's a solid way to simplify thermostat scheduling. Now again, I took the whole idea of quick command, quick overall status and control, and applied it to my thermostats as well. So what you can see here is, again, you're going to have a whole list of thermostats here. If you have like 10 zones of climate, it would be a scrollable list, and it would have the name of the zone, the current temperature, and the set temperature. So that this way I could quickly establish what is on, what is off, what's set to what. And then, so for instance, if I wanted to go to the first floor and adjust it really quick, well, I can see it's set to cool right now, and that's obviously giving me feedback on cool. You can see when I set it off, it shows it's off. I can set it to heat, set to heat. If I'm on heat, I can set the temperature up. And again, you can see all that's done all by just jumping through each zone for quick, established control. That's the whole idea here. I was trying to simplify least amount of presses with the most simplified design, and I feel like that really sufficed what we were trying to do here. Let's jump over to shade control. This isn't necessarily cleaned up 100%, but as you can see, what we have here, again, it's a dynamic setup. Thermostats are the same way. So if you think about it like my lighting system, I have a Cooper shading module. I basically type the name of the shade in there, depending on what zone it's in. I tell it I specify whether or not it's a drape, whether or not it's a roller, Roman, whatever the case is, and then it dynamically adjusts the graphic accordingly. So you can see I've got a roller here, and I've got two drapes in this room, let's say. And then this would allow me to just gain really quick control and program really fast and effectively the shade control for each zone. So, and again, I applied that whole quick control feature in this side of it as well. Again, you can see here, if I jump from my zones, I can get quick status, I can open and close specific shades. I can basically jump into each room and make quick assessments, quick control access without having to drive into each room and check status and whatnot. Now the only thing I've left to do here would be I have to add a 5-day graphic in for the back end of this so that it changes throughout the time of the day. So it gives you that more realistic feel if it's nighttime. Obviously you want this to kind of look like a back end of, or a background graphic of, you know, nighttime dusk, that kind of thing. And then, you know, presets, like I said, that's pretty much it. And a few more small touch-ups here. And that's honestly, those are the utilities I'm going to go over in this video. And the next video we're going to get into security and some of the other features we have in here, what I have coming up next. Alright, talk to you guys soon.